the day before. Today we're going to be going over Hunter Killer's Curtain Call Episode 4 Investigation. And I'm very excited because there is a lot of evidence to go over today. So, I usually write out a whole script and everything for the investigation videos, but today I just wrote stuff on note cards, so we'll see how this goes. And I can't even keep my thing open. I think I can let it shut now. So there is a lot to go over. So Hunted Killer, and I will put more information about them in the description box below. But they are a subscription box where you get a box monthly that looks like this, and you get information about a case you're solving. And the cases last 6 months unless you expedite. Right now I can't expedite because I'm up to date on what Hunter Killer has right now. So let's go ahead and get started. In the first episode of Curtain Call, what we did was we found the murder weapon. And then the second episode, we eliminated a suspect, Joe Sampson. The third episode of this case, we eliminated another suspect, which was Ruth Erickson. And now, it looks like the goal for this box is to also eliminate a suspect. So, that's what we'll be doing today. In Curtain Call, basically what happened was, in the 1930s at Cadence Theater, there was a up-and-coming starlet named Viola Vane, and she disappeared. Well, in modern day, Julia Adler, the owner of the theater now, found Viola Vane's body in the attic inside of a trunk. And she's also having problems with the theater staying open, so this incident basically gave the board a way to sell the theater out from under Julia. So she wants us to try to help and solve Viola Vane's murder and help her save the theater. So, in Julia's letter here, what we found was that the board received an offer for the theater and it's higher than anticipated. Julia is also finding out through our investigation that her grandparents aren't as wonderful as she thought. She's also going to be sending us a cut-up blueprint of the theater and a missing page from the 1934 police report. She's also giving us new passwords in this letter, and she's asking us to send her an email once we've eliminated another suspect. So, the next piece of evidence we're going to look at is the missing page from the police report. And it's on the front and the back. And basically, what this police report tells us is that this shows that Ruth and Evelyn also. Evelyn is Julia Adler, the owner's grandmother, okay? So Evelyn, back then, when Viola Vane was alive, she also despised Viola Vane, not just Ruth Erickson, okay? And it also talks about the night doorman at the Criterion Arms, talking about how often Olga was at Crooks until it closed, how she forgot events from previous evenings, and she gets worse later in the day. So, is she an alcoholic, or is she sundowning, or what's going on with her? The next piece of evidence that we're going to look at, and we're going to come back to also, is this. It is an Interlude New York City article, and it has restaurant openings, which will be important later on. The restaurant openings are at Prima Donna Primavera, Noodle Mood, Lily and Laurel, the Cancio, Antonio Filoni's cinema and cannoli. Okay, sorry. And Girlami's. So we'll come back to that. We'll set this over here. The next piece of evidence we're going to look at is an article, and on the back of it, it says, "Can smoking be bad?" Yep, it sure can. So it shows how, times have changed. And then on this side is the important side. It talks about what happened after Viola Vane disappeared, okay? So it says that Hector became a film star. Ira and Evelyn married a couple of months after Viola disappeared, and they had a child soon after that. And the article asks, did they have their child too soon? And it also says that they purchased the theater from George. And then we also get confirmation that George and Ruth divorced. So I thought that was interesting. So the next piece of evidence we're going to look at has a bit of a code in it, and I didn't realize that for the longest time. The title of the song gives you a hint to the hidden message inside of the song, okay? So odd endings, right? And the other song is My First and Last, okay? So both of the songs are about falling out of love with one person and in love with someone else. Now, Ira wrote these, okay? And for odd endings, the code is the last letter of each odd numbered line. So, if you look at the last letter of each odd numbered line, it's S, T, A, Y, A, W, A, Y. So stay away. And this, my first and last, you look at the first and last letter of every single line. So it's E, V, E, L, Y, N, Evelyn, W, I, L, L, Y, O, U, will you, M, A, R, R, Y, will you marry, M, E. Evelyn, will you marry me? So Ira's asking Evelyn to marry him. Interesting. So, basically, Ira fell out of love with Viola and was like, basically, stay away. And he fell in love with Evelyn and asked her to marry him. Next, we have a return letter, and inside is a piece of evidence. It says return to sender, and that is Olga's writing, I am assuming, because Joe was supposed to give this to Olga. It's from Hector, so I think this is Hector's writing, and then Olga's writing is right here, return to sender, I believe. And then when you pull out the envelope, is it still in here? Yeah, it's still in here. So inside, when you open it, there's a ring. And inside of the ring is engraving 1903. And I don't know if you can see that at all, but it says 1903 inside this ring. So, the letter basically is to Olga from Hector, basically saying, I'm sorry that it didn't work out between me and your daughter, and here is your ring back that you expected me to give to your daughter when we married. Alright, so the next piece of evidence came in pieces, and I went ahead and I taped it together. So here is the blueprint all taped together. Alright, so on this blueprint, here's a coded message There are some rooms that are circled. And then here is the key for the coded message at the bottom. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead, and one of the reasons why I did write down my notes for this video instead of typing out a thing was I was going to try to show you guys how to solve this on your own real quick before I give you the answer. So right here you can see it says PQR in one of the squares, right? So to fill this out, you just go along with that. PQR, STU, VWX, YZ. And then you start with ABC, DEF, GHI, JKL, MNO. Okay? So, also the code. The first letter of the code is either upstage, stage, or downstage, okay? And then right is over here, center is right here, and then downstage left is like right here, right? So the second letter in the code goes with that. It's either R, C, or L. And then the third letter, or the third part of the code is a number, right? So here's the code, if you can see it. And see, I drew a line up to here. So for that square, the third part of the code is a number. It's either 1, 2, or 3. If it's 3, the letter is I. If it's H, the letter or the digit is 2. And if the letter is G, the digit is 1. So, for this square, it would be U, R, and then 2 for H, okay? I hope that makes sense. But I'm about to tell you what the code says. So, fast forward a little bit if you want to figure that out on your own. Okay. So, the code is some hiding places for the Sentinel. Okay, the Sentinel is a safe that Joe ordered to put somewhere. And I'm guessing, I'm not sure, that the places are these circled rooms. Or else that's like a combination. You know, like 4, 5, 7, what's that one? 11, or 14. Like maybe that's part of the combination to the safe that he's going to install. Who knows? We'll find more information out later, I'm sure. But I love this part. This is probably my favorite piece of evidence we got. And it came in a cigarette case, right? Which I'm keeping because I really like it. I think it's cute. Alright, so guys, next we're going to go on to the online evidence. And that's going to allow us to eliminate a suspect, okay? So the first piece of online evidence we have is a letter from the board. And basically that letter just says that the board got an offer of $7 million for the theater. The last piece of online evidence we got is this picture of Hector. And it was for one of the several restaurants that opened on November the 6th. And this piece of evidence goes along with the police report in episode 2 for one. And then also this piece of evidence, okay? So, if you remember in episode 2, Hector Rowland said that he left the theater at 5:30. And then he arrived at an event at 6. Hector was at the Cancio by 6 p.m. This means that he did not murder Viola Vane. There's a red rose and a pasta dish, and the Cancio ran out of pasta at 6:15, so he had to be there before 6:15, and he could not have killed Viola. So, in this episode, we are eliminating Hector right here. The suspects that are left are Olga, George, Ira, and my number one suspect, Evelyn. I'm sorry, Julia Adler, but I do think that your grandmother murdered Viola Vane. And I don't even think, honestly, that is Julia's real grandmother. I believe that Viola Vane had a baby, that Ruth and George were somehow involved with hiding that, and that Ira and Evelyn found out that that was Ira's baby. I think that Evelyn, she was the last person to see Viola alive. I believe that Evelyn killed Viola Vane and that Ira Adler helped her cover it up. So that's just what I'm thinking. Let me know your theories about what happened and who you think out of the 4 suspects it is that killed Viola Vane in the comments below. We have, again, Olga, which is Viola's mother, George Erickson, who owned the Cadence Theater at the time, Ira, the director, and Evelyn. So Ira was secretly dating Viola for a little while, and then he wanted to split it off with her. She was still in love with him, and I believe she had his baby as well. And Evelyn was the other love interest of Ira's. I'm really thinking it has to do with the love triangle. But what are you thinking? Which 4 do you believe murdered Viola Vane? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss, you guys. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you want to find out who killed Viola Vane, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're updated on every Hunt to Killer video that comes out on my channel. And I will see you again soon, you guys. Bye-bye.